Hey, Brendan here from WPAlpha. I'm just going to talk about our backup system quickly. One of the features we wanted when we built WPAlpha is the ability for you to back up onto your own storage. So one of our core beliefs is that you should own a copy of your website all the time. Um, Businesses tend to undervalue the importance of the website until they don't realize how much value or equity or business value is stored on the website until there's a problem with it. And that includes in the domain name, in the website itself. If you lose your website, if something happens to the site and it disappears, basically all the SEO rankings and everything else goes with it. So it's really important that the website is backed up and multiple backup systems, because with any backup system, there's always gaps. There's always circumstances when one may not be able to restore properly or restore in the way you want. Some backup systems work different to others. Some need to restore the entire site. Some can restore individual files. They're all different. So we actually have multiple backup systems. We do take backups of your site every 90 minutes to 2 hours. We actually have 3 to 4, depending on how you count it, but 3 or 4 backup systems to back up your site. But we also want you to back up to your own storage. So let's talk about how to set that up. It's really simple, and it's one of the first things we want you to do as part of getting your website onto the platform. So I'm logged in here. What you need to do, there's this sidebar. It might actually be hidden depending on your layout. So click this box to open the sidebar, and you'll see there's backup and restore. So this is the system that allows you to back up onto your own storage. So if you've got multiple sites, it'll ask you which site. So I'll just use WPAlpha, our website, as an example. So the first step here is to connect a remote storage. So we support lots of different remote storages: Dropbox, FTP, Google Drive, Amazon S3. So you'll see here. So basically, it's very simple. Click whatever one you want to use. We're using Google Drive for this one. And then basically there's an option in here. Well, actually, let me just go show you a different one. This one's already configured. Let me go back and we'll use Dropbox. So just go back to where we were. Give me 1 second. So we go here and we'll configure Dropbox. One moment. So, okay, remote storage settings. And let's go Dropbox. And I'll just connect it to mine. So I'm already logged into Dropbox, so that's why it's asking here to connect. But if I wasn't logged into my Dropbox, it would ask me to connect. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to connect that. So that basically gives Dropbox authorization, or the web server authorization to access Dropbox. So see here, use the storage. That basically enables or disables it. And you want to validate the files to make sure they work, and just hit the apply button. You'll see here, this is my personal Dropbox. I'm just logged in, so we just use that for an example. And just hit the apply or OK button. So that's it connected. So you'll see, if we go back to the remote storage settings, you'll see Dropbox ready for use. So we're also backing up to Google Drive already. Okay, so that's the storage connected. It's probably worth setting up a password here, but really keep in mind that if you forget this password, the backups are not going to work. So really need to keep that backup safe, that password for the backup safe, stored somewhere, because the backups are completely useless without this password. Okay, so we'll leave that alone. We won't set up a password here for now. So I'll go back to Backup Manager, and we want to set up a backup schedule. So you can actually back up. I'll just click here. So you can actually back up to hourly if you want. You'll see here there's some options: hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly. With the hourly, if we just click in there, unless you have a WooCommerce site or something where changes are happening all the time, you probably don't need hourly. So just keep in mind that this adds a little bit of load to the website. So if you don't need that, if you are a small business website, like a local business, like a dentist or a doctor or something like that, where you make changes only once every 3 months or something like that, you don't need the hourly backups. So just keep that in mind. But if you're a WooCommerce site, please, by all means, go ahead and use this feature. If you have a big WooCommerce database, just be mindful that this may be slow, or it may also use a lot of storage. So just keep that in mind. So there are options there to back it up it's an hour interval. So every 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12 hours, whatever. So if you don't have many orders, maybe 2 hours is better, or a bigger site, 2 hours is better. But just keep that in mind. So for most people, the daily backup is probably appropriate, but again, if you're WooCommerce, that's different. Okay, so it asks you what time you want to run the backup. So you want to run it in the evening. So this server is in Sydney, so this is the Sydney local time, so 5 p.m. Sydney. We want to use incremental, so that what that means is it takes a backup every once a week, a full backup, and then it stores an incremental backup, so only the changes 6 of the other days of the week. So by default, these are the default settings. So we want to keep 5 weeks worth of backups, so that gives you significant rollback, or 5 weekly backups. And just keep in mind, if you have a big website, if your website's 10 gig, that's going to be at least 50 gig of storage. So just keep that in mind. We don't need email hosting, so we don't need mail messages. We definitely want files, and we definitely want databases, and then choose the storage. So this at the moment is backing up to Google Drive, but in this case, if I wanted to change to the Dropbox, I would. If you have a big website, you want to use this multi-bulk volume backup. So if you have 10, 20, 50 gig website, you don't want to have a 50 gig file. That's going to be prone to corruption. Things are going to be slow to upload and download. So you probably want to set this as multi-volume. 2 gig is fine. But yeah, if you have a very big website, you don't want 50 gig files. There are weird things that happen with cloud backup systems when you get files that big, and it's problematic with the uploads as well. If the upload gets disconnected, particularly like FTP is prone to disconnects. If the storage gets disconnected, or the connection gets disconnected during the upload process, then it has to start again. So you want to have kind of smaller file sizes like that. That disconnect issue isn't so much a problem with Google Drive or Dropbox, but very much with FTP, it's a bit more of a fragile connection. So just keep that in mind. You want to exclude log files. You don't really need to keep those backed up. If you really want, then keep them. Exclude specific files. If you have a staging site or some big files or whatever, maybe you want to exclude them there. And then if there's an error, you want to be emailed about it. So stick your email address in there. And once you're done, I'll just see if I can move this guy out of the way. No, I can't. Once you're done, hit save and you're good to go. So that backup will then run, in this case, every night. So you see here, I did an example before to Google Drive. I'll just wait for that to load up. So you'll see here, it'll have the backups listed like that. So this one is only 400 megs, not big. You can actually download it through here as well, but that's pulling it from the cloud storage into the web browser. So that'll be a little slow, but that's okay. And then if you want to see what's inside the backup or restore, just click the backup and it will give you some options there. So so this is the backup here. It gives you all the details. What do you want to restore? If you want to restore, say, a single file, go here and you want to go files of domains and you want to add files. So here it'll give me, this is the list of files under HTTP docs. It'll have all the files there. So if you've just deleted something you want to get back, that's how you would restore it. And that's pretty much it. So that's running the restore. So that's connecting the backup system. So first we need to connect that external storage. Next, we need to set up the backup job, the schedule, and then we want to probably come back the next day and just make sure that it's running okay. And you want to keep an eye on the storage and make sure you don't run out of storage. If you don't have cloud storage right now, a free Gmail account comes with 15 gig of cloud storage. So that might be enough to get you started there. So that's probably a good starting point for small business websites. As you can see, this is our WPAlpha internet-facing website, and it was only 400 megabytes. So if you're kind of a static website like that, the site will be a gigabyte or less. So it'll be quite small. So that free Gmail account is fine. That's pretty much it. Make sure you have two-factor authentication on your remote storage as well. If someone gets a copy of that backup file, then they can get access to the website. So, and also set that password. That's also important. So that's pretty much it. If you get stuck or need help, just hit up our support team. You can catch them on the live chat. Or email support@WPAlpha.com, and that'll make a ticket and one of the team will come back to you. So I hope you found that useful. Let us know if you have any questions or need more detail. Cheers.